What is a true surrender to God? There's a tangible difference that can be felt in the body as we abide in a part that wants something. Even when it's momentarily content and seemingly at peace, there's still a narrative, there's still a pull. Ever so slightly, there's always a pull away from the present moment. Whereas when we unblend and we know ourselves as divinity, awake awareness, spirit, there can still be apparent movement, but it arises from the stillness. There's a silence and a peace that starts to pervade everything. And as we no longer scramble to get somewhere where we are not, we fall into the now. And I'm gonna intentionally slow down now to transmit some of that stillness that is here now and is part of you as much as it is part of me. It is beyond the persona, that is beyond the character that is listening or that is speaking. And there is something deeper beyond the human ears, the human character, the parts that are working right now to do something with this, to arrive, to improve, to change, to affect, to mold, to fix, to heal. There's something beyond all of that which has never been touched or affected by any of this, that has never known lack, has never known hunger for anything. It is always and eternally at peace. And that's something, or rather, that no thing, because it cannot be grasped, it cannot be fully touched, named, or even really pointed to, because it escapes the mind's ability to conceptualize. It is that which perceives, it is the subject. And a subject cannot become the object. So we can never quite touch this. We can never give a perfect description of what this is. We can only be it. We cannot know it. We cannot describe it, for it is not an it. It is a no thing, and even that gives it a name. It is completely beyond. So we can only be it. We cannot know it, we can only be it. And that is probably the biggest block from falling into that piece of our being. Because we're so trained since we're small to be up in our heads and to understand and to make sense of. And here, for the first time ever, and it's really yummy if you can really lean into it as opposed to be frustrated with your mind's inability to grok it. We're poised with a puzzle that cannot be solved through the usual means that we have always relied on. That's what makes this puzzle so exquisite, so frustratingly beautiful, because it is not something that we have come across ever before in our lives. And all of our tools, every single trick we have learned, no matter how well it has served us up until this point, needs to fall away. needs to be tucked back into our tool belt and tossed away. And that is not to say that our intellect, our brilliance, our creativity, our unique colors, our personalities are something to be discarded with. They are, in fact, an expression of the divine. It's something to be deeply celebrated and lived, not turned away from, only as a half, as a half step, as a something in between. For we are so captivated by this plethora of experience and identities that we forget who we really are. So it might be a skillful me to first turn away from that which we have previously mistaken ourselves to be. But it should not happen. It is not skillful to consider that bad or negative or something to be killed or disposed of. This whole trend of ego is the enemy and must be slayed like a dragon. That's not what it is. But it could be helpful to step away from it. Take a step back so big that we begin to notice the space in between, which is us. The space in between thoughts, in between ideas, in between action, in between the breath. And as we learn to recognize that space and that memory starts to come back of who we really are, and as we have quote unquote climbed the mountain, it is time to climb the mountain back down into the village and to live again and to be the expression of the divine in this human form with all of its imperfect perfection. You see, that's the real beauty of this is to realize that divinity is so perfect that it manifests itself as imperfect in order to play. There's no fun in perfection. So we come into this human form to experience ignorance, forgetting our nature, to be playing around with limitation. Isn't that fun? To be divine, yet love ourselves so much that we even allow the choice to forget who we are, to forget how loved we are, to be afraid, to forget about our inherent peace that is our true nature. That's how loved you are. That's how much freedom you have granted yourself to play and experiment with. And yet, at some point, it might begin to feel a little bit too tight. This jacket we've put on, this heavy plate armor, it might begin to weigh us down, and something within us starts to itch from the inside. There's a deep, distant memory that tells us that something feels too contracted. It doesn't actually feel good. And it has served its purpose because perhaps that was exactly what we came here to do, was to experience that contraction so that we can consciously choose to remain in a contracted state, knowing ourselves to be separate and struggling in a scary, cold world that's completely indifferent to our existence, or to remember truth and the reality of what life really is, what God is, what all of this divine plane of light is for. And it is all for you, not for anyone else. It's for you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And so, as we begin to awaken from this deep slumber of forgetfulness, and we begin to yearn for that more expansive, peaceful, knowing of the nature of the world, it starts to seep in. It starts to seep in through all of those cracks in the imperfect life that we have lived so far. For no matter how hard we try, this being human is to be imperfect, is to go through pain and suffering, and it is to fail and try again and again until we've had enough of that pain and we feel that we are ready to know ourselves and to know life from a different vantage point, which is accessible to all right now. For there is no other power than you. There is no other power dictating whether and when you shall be granted access to awakening or enlightenment or liberation, whatever you label you want to slap on it. It is entirely up to you. You are choosing the degree and the pace and the unfoldment of your story. It is happening for you on some level, and this is very difficult to hear as we are caught amidst the human suffering. It's extremely difficult to hear that we are in fact choosing it, for it seems entirely bananas. It seems illogical and irreverent, even, and it doesn't seem to make sense to us, but that's it. It doesn't have to. Because this play of light, this play of being human, exceeds our human mind. Our divinity and our souls are the captains of the ship, and our role is to simply surrender and to know ourselves every moment of the day as that divine expression, and to quiet down just enough so that we can begin to hear the whisper of our soul, of God, of the divine. You can use whatever word resonates with you. This isn't religious dogma. You can call it the absolute, the alpha and omega. You can call it Christ or Buddha. You can call it life force. You can call it the universe. You can call it your higher self. It really doesn't matter, but you are so deeply held by it, which is not an it. It is you. So this message is not to be heard and understood by the character listening to this. It's not even coming from the character that is speaking right now. It's coming from beyond, and it is reaching beyond you, the listener. And it is stirring something in you, a forgotten memory that is ready to be remembered. There's a little ember that is ready to ignite into a full blown, blazing fire of your soul, of a manifestation in human form of spirit. And that's the ride. That's a crazy ride. And we choose to get on this ride, and here we are. Just like in a roller coaster, the ups or the downs are part of it all. They're not better or worse. There are times of excitement, there's times of turmoil and euphoria and sheer panic. And it is all part of being human. It's just like the roomie's guest house, which I will put in the comment section below for you interested, since I do not remember it by heart. But the gist of it is that this being human is to be a guest house every day and you arrive. Sometimes a grief, sometimes joy, depression, anger, and we are just a guest house, welcoming each guest as they come, stay, and then leave again. And knowing ourselves as that space which is not perturbed or disturbed by any one specific guest, nor does it cling to any favorite guest. That's where the peace of our true nature really lies. So I wish you all to be able to find that peace within yourself and carry it throughout the day, the week, the month, the year. And as you do that, to not worry about holding on to it, just trust that it's there. Notice the chatter, take a step back into the peace. And that has been my mantra in the past couple of days. What I've become more aware, where I'm still getting caught. I'm still getting caught in the drama, in the planning and the thoughts. And I'm experimenting and having fun with to what extent am I able to let go of all of that continuously and just come back to this mantra that I've heard Ram Dass use. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. And let those words replace whatever chatter's been present and see where it gets you. I'm on a similar ride as you, so please share your experiences in the comment section below. I really would love to hear your experience. And please like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel to help me grow it, since I would love to spread this message to more people. And I'll see you in the next one. I love you all.